All right, how are we doing today? It's whatever day it is. It's Wednesday afternoon. It's a gorgeous day here in Alabama, and I hope you're doing well wherever you are. This is like our third installment, so we're just still kind of getting acclimated to a regular dose of Be Refreshed Life Edition. And so that's where we are today. We're looking at how to let life get better. That's kind of our season right now when Tammy and I have the opportunity to counsel with parents or couples or whatever, and they're going through some struggles, we tend to ask that one question because it's the most helpful. We can ask all the particulars and you'll get into that, right? When you're just dealing with life. But really, the simple question that changes the framework of everything is this question: how can I let life get better? How can I let my marriage get better? How can I let my fitness, my health get better? How can I let my money get better? How can I let my friends and my family? How can I let those things get better? So that's kind of that's the theme that we're working through this. But we're also inviting you into a journey with us as we're beta testing right now an app that launches in 2 weeks for the ULA guys, Dave and Troy, and it's an incredible app that helps you make sure you have balance and growth in a lifestyle platform. What I mean by lifestyle platform is that when you get the app, you pull it up on your laptop and you give it some information like age, status of married or whatever, and then based on those questions or the response that you put there, then they help you work through the 7 areas of life that we really all struggle with, right? The area of faith, family, and friends, right? We all want to improve our relationship with our friends. We want to grow deeper with them. We want to lean on them and let them lean on us. Same thing with friendships, right? We want those people that we walk through life with, but a lot of us just tolerate certain friendships and deal with what comes, and then the area of faith and the power of what that is, and then work, right? The field, and that's the fourth F. And so we deal with our field, where we work, our passion. How can we let that get better? And then we look at the area of fitness. That's our health, which we're looking at right now. And then we look at the area of finance and fun. And so balancing those areas is what all of us are striving to do, right? Every one of us, that's what we're striving to do. So what happens after you put all that, your info in there about who you are, it asks you questions on those 7 areas, 70 questions, 10 questions on each one of those areas, and you give it an honest input. It's just about where you are. You don't sugarcoat it. You don't make it look better than it is. You talk about where you are right now in the area of your finances, in the area of your fitness. The more honest you are with the answers, the better this app is going to work for you. So once those questions that are unique to you based on the input that you gave, it will pop up a diagram, a wheel, and it will show you where you're strong and where maybe you need some work. And then it will begin to, as you begin to set your own goals, it will make suggestions. And you'll click an area and a video will pop up which will help you in that area if it senses that you're weak in that area. There'll be a work study book that you can do. And this is meant to carry you. It's a year project of what's going on. So Tammy and I are in the early stages of it, loving every minute of it. And so we've been looking at fitness. But I want you to just experience on your own kind of what this feels like. So we've been walking through that. So the first thing we talked about was fitness, not just fitness in the health area of our life, but the fitness emotionally and mentally. Now, yesterday we looked at mental fitness and what does that look like? And we asked some questions, and I asked you to kind of rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, where you thought you may be in the area of mental. If you didn't look at that, hey, don't sweat it. Just go back and find it on this page, and you can see that. It's about 13 minutes long. Today, though, we want to talk about emotional health. Now, emotional health flows out of our mental health. We tend to get that a little backwards, but as we think in our heart, so all of life is lived between the ears, right? Mentally. So we talked about that yesterday. How as you think better and think rightly and think more true, everything changes. It's a game-changing shift. But no one wants to spend the time to sit alone in a room and think. But when you do that, it's a game changer. Now, what we think will move its way from our head down to our heart. That's the area where our attitudes surface. It's the windshield through which we see life. So if we feel like life is getting us a raw deal, an emotion of envy may creep up. And we may see others as further along. And with that envy, it always brings its friends of resentment and some of the others, and sometimes even anger. And so you can see how if you're not emotionally healthy based on what you think, you're really going to be somewhat toxic to yourself and to others. And so, as we look through emotional health, we see that it's a general outlook that we have about life. Now, emotions, as I said, flows through our thoughts, right? It's the windshield through which we see life. And from those emotions, from those attitudes, it really begins to shape our life. It begins to shape our behavior, how we respond to people, and whether we're gonna see ourselves as a victim or a conqueror, right? It's one of those things. And so when we have good, healthy emotional health, here's what happens: we tend to relax, and we tend to be more humble. So our attitude is one of humility. Our emotion is that, hey, I really care about people. I care about you. When our thought life's not right, it's all about us. And so and it brings up patience. An emotion or an attitude of patience that flows out of that, as well as forbearance when we put up with people, right? All of those things, and it's so healthy when we do that. So let's just think real quickly for a minute about your own emotional health. How well would you say you are? Would you consider yourself fairly stable, in your emotions, or are you kind of all over the place? Now, I don't mean like the gamut of emotion, like sometimes we can just cry and sometimes we're laughing. That's life, and those emotions should be there. We're talking about the ones that have taken hold of your life, and those emotions are the ones that make you. And really, attitude is probably an equally strong word. Those attitudes matter. And so sometimes it's helpful to look at the negative attitude or the negative emotions and see where you are in that. So let's just talk about maybe subjects like anger, right? How angry do you get? An understanding of where you are emotionally. If you're angry about things, you have a control issue. That's where anger comes from. You want, you can't get, so you get angry, right? You want, you can't get, and you get angry, and all of the things that go along with that. And so there's this we're not in a healthy state, because then we become a little toxic, right? We're a little manipulative. People see that. It affects our relationships. People are a little scared to be around us because they never know when we're going to blow up, right? So we need to be healthy in that area of emotion. We need to recognize and understand that we really control very little. I can't control you. I can't control what you do. I can only control how I respond to what you do. That's a great truth that you and me should grab a hold of. But sometimes guilt, and that emotion of guilt, where we something happened in our past and maybe we haven't dealt with it, or maybe we see ourselves, maybe we struggle in the area of school and we just didn't do well, and maybe we even dropped out, and if we let that emotion that says we're a failure or we're not smart, you can see how you're going to be a little unhealthy there, right? You can see that in so many areas when it comes to guilt. If you hurt somebody, or you were in a bad relationship, or there was some abuse going on, and you begin to blame yourself, it's going to make you a little more timid, and a little more gun shy, and a little more closed off. Those emotions aren't good for us really at all. Um, and so this isn't about not looking at your past. We look at our past, we just don't linger there. Right? We look at it enough to go, hey, well, I made a mistake, or something happened that I don't like. What am I going to do? How will I respond to that? And then we move forward. Fear is one of the biggest emotions that will trip us up and keep us from growing. Think of all the things that wouldn't happen if you let fear paralyze you. I think it was John Wayne who said, courage is being afraid but saddling up anyway, right? So if you let fear paralyze you because that's what it wants to do, you're going to be unhealthy emotionally. We can look at self-sabotage. That's kind of a tricky one because we don't know we're doing it when we do it, but we're walking through life and things get good, and we feel like things are good, and there's just this cloud over us thinking, well, this can't last, right? And we almost self-prophesy what's going to happen. We assume that we don't deserve really to have a happy, joyful life, and so then we look for reasons not to. And so we go, see, I knew it wouldn't work. We're wanting to say that to ourselves. That's a self-sabotage kind of an emotion, and it can be dangerous too, right? Laziness, focus, a lack of focus, the emotion of not being present, of being all over the place, can create all kind of issues. Well, I don't want to keep you too long today. I just wanted you to think through those things. So if you were to analyze yourself in the area of emotional health based on kind of what we talked about. How could you let it get better? What would need to happen for you to let life get better, right? And maybe some of it may involve moving some people out of your life, but for the most part, that's really a minor issue. It's about moving yourself out of your way, right? And so ask yourself, how can I let my emotional health get better? And then I would suggest that we do this, that you take some time, just like you did with mental health, and you say, okay, um, where am I on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being, man, I'm an emotional wreck, and I'm all over the place. To 10 going, you know what, I got it all in control. I mean, I'm feeling really good about life, and I'm others oriented, and I'm attractional when it comes to people. I tend to draw people to me and sustain life, and life is good. If that's you, then give yourself up there near 8, 9, 10. All right, but just rate yourself. Tomorrow we're going to come back and look at the one that most of us think when we talk about fitness, and that's health, right? That's working out and eating right. And so we'll talk about that tomorrow. Until then, man, you guys have a great day, and Lord willing, I'll see you tomorrow.